Today we're going to work on an art project inspired by Pablo Picasso and also using organic and geometric shapes. You're going to start with a rectangle piece of paper. I have a piece of black construction paper. You could also do this project with a white piece of paper or any paper that you have available. But for this project, we are doing a black piece of construction paper. I'll also need a white colored pencil because white shows up really well on black, and I'm going to need a ruler. We're going to use the ruler to create a border, a frame around our paper. I'm going to line up the ruler as best I can on the side of the paper, and I'm going to draw a line all the way across. I'm going to do this on all four sides, taking my ruler, lining it up with the edge of the paper, holding it steady with my free hand, and drawing a nice straight line. Creating a border on your artwork gives it a nice professional finished look. It's also going to give us a place for this art project to create geometric pattern. A pattern is a repeating over and over again, a repeating element. So if you're making a pattern in art, you could do maybe zigzag line, straight line, zigzag line, straight line, zigzag line, straight line, whatever it repeats. It even can be more than just two. It could repeat an ABC pattern. For this, we're going to do shape. So in this border that I just created, I'm going to think of some geometric shapes. Remember, these are the shapes you see in math class: squares, circles, triangles, rhombuses, anything like that. You're going to create a pattern. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to create a bunch of squares. I'm just going to line up my ruler, move it over, and create a bunch of squares. So this is a very simple pattern that's using geometric shape. And if I see here, it didn't quite line up the way I wanted it to. Right there, I got a little bit of a gap. So maybe I'll do the same thing to the other side to make it symmetrical, even on both sides, okay? As long as it's a geometric pattern in your border, you're good. So think about those shapes: circles, triangles, squares, rectangles, anything in math class, anything with rules, anything that we can name, because it has a very specific name. And look at this one. This one lined up really good, so I don't have to do anything different to that one. This one over here, I know that I have to create a pattern. I'm going to use that skinny line that I created on the outside, and that should give me a basic pattern of squares here. All right. Maybe I want to do some triangles, so I can make some X's and divide this square that I made into triangles. In fact, I think I want to take this one back. I like to take that one back, perhaps. And let's finish this one off over here. Once you have finished your geometric border, however it comes out, as long as you're focusing on those geometric shapes in your border, we're going to move on to the center part. So I'm going to pretend that I finished my geometric border. I'm not putting much detail in it right now because I want to move on to the next spot, but you are going to add lots of detail, lots of geometric shapes in this border, all right? But for time's sake, I'm going to move on. I'm going to pretend my geometric border is completely knocked out here, and I'm going to focus on my inside. These are where my organic shapes are going to be. You need to choose 3 organic shapes, okay? I think that I'm going to choose a shape that is similar looking to a tree. I'm using kind of a pine tree organic shape. Maybe you want to do kind of an oak tree. So I said 3, right? So here's 1. Okay. Now I need to have 2 more. So I think I'll do more of like a sun Remember, organic shapes don't have rules. They're found in nature. They're free form. They're flowing. And I'm going to add a nice horizontal line back here to kind of make it look like the ground. And I need one more shape. And I think that I will do the moon on this side. I'm going to do a crescent moon on this side. So I have 3. If you want more than 3, you can add more than 3, but the minimum requirement here is 3 organic shapes. And the nice thing about them is that they turned into a picture. It turned into sort of a landscape here. Now we're going to do what Picasso did, and we're going to chop our artwork up into more shapes. And I call this shattering. So I'm going to shatter my picture. This picture in here, not the border. The border I'm going to leave alone. The border is going to stay just geometric, but I want to shatter this inside image. I'm going to take my ruler again, and I'm going to start drawing straight lines through my drawing. And this doesn't really have to be well thought about. It's just going to make it look like our picture kind of broke up into more geometric patterns and shapes, okay? More rigid lines. And this is shattering, okay? This is going to give it a really neat effect when we start to color. So get yourself a ruler, start drawing nice, sharp, straight lines through your image. I wouldn't get too carried away with making a lot, but I definitely would have it dissecting every element, every organic shape you drew. You want to break those into shattered pieces. So I shattered the sun, I shattered the moon, I shattered my tree, and I stayed inside just where I drew this picture. I did not go out here to the border. Now that we have our picture shattered, our organic shapes, our geometric shapes, now we get to color. We can use crayons. We could use colored pencils. I'm going to grab a box of oil pastels. And I'm going to think about what color do I want my pictures to be. Now, I'm going to choose green for my tree, but the tricky part here is if I color in an area, now it's kind of a geometric and organic that we're dealing with here. I'm going to trace along the new shape I made by shattering my organic shape. Okay, but I also want to change the color. So if I did a light green in this area, I'm not going to color the entire thing in for you, but you will color the entire thing in. I like to outline it first and then color in the area. Now when I move over here to another piece of my shattered tree, I need to change colors, okay? So I might grab a darker green. Now I'm just looking to green for my tree, but can you choose a color that maybe isn't colored? Absolutely. If I wanted to do this pink, I could do it pink. In fact, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to show you. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to color my tree slightly pink here, okay? I like to outline it first, see where I'm going, and then I can color it in. With oil pastels, you don't have to push hard. We're going to leave it kind of rough where that black is shining through, okay? It's going to give it a neat effect and texture. You learned a lot about texture last year. I'm going to color my whole picture in, okay? Now if I get up to the moon and maybe I want the moon to be shattered into a white, and then maybe I want to shatter it into a light blue. I like to outline it first, make sure I know where I'm supposed to be coloring, and then I give it a light color, okay? We're going to keep moving on, coloring our whole image in here using different colors, shattered, changing colors as I move to a different shape or line. And then for the border is simply going to be black and white. So you can come back with your colored pencil. I like to use colored pencil for the border because my hand likes to smear across the page and this oil pastel will smear. You can also use crayons. Whatever we have out today, whatever we have available is what we're going to use. But I'm just showing you different ways we can do this project. So you'll start coloring in your border with a white colored pencil or a white crayon or if a white oil pastel, if that's what you have, and you will start making your pattern simply with just black and white. Remember, it's a geometric pattern on your border, black and white, oil pastel or a crayon if that's what we're using, changing colors in our shattered image. I hope you enjoyed this project. I want to show you an example I have of a finished one. I have it on a much larger piece of paper, and that's what you will be using in class. And this is the final product. I have a nice black and white geometric border, and I have three, a cloud, a flower, and mountains of my organic. I've shattered my image, and I've created this color scheme where the colors change when I come into a new divided area.